Good evening to you guys, our viewers across the world, and it's been a successful evening of the 2025 Ballon d'Or. And once again, we've seen a scintillating, exciting result with regards to the winners on the night. First of all, let me introduce my guest for tonight. Courage is on board in his Brazil outfit. I don't know if he's played for Brazil or if he's that good when it comes to a samba footballer, but he's
I'm
trying
just
to show.
disappointed. I'm just disappointed with how they place Raphinha, Charlie. I'm just disappointed. I'm mourning with him. Fifth position
Uh,
is not at all. I think he was robbed. Yes, that's why I'm in my Brazil yesterday. All in solidarity of the Raphinha Diaz, the Brazil international.
so yeah, you are sympathizing with Raphinha, the Brazilian
Yes,
sensation in
exactly.
your Brazil jersey. Anyways, Force is also on the line. How are you doing, and how has your evening been with regards to the Ballon d'Or, and what your low points have been?
Well, I've been great. As expected, the Ballon d'Or has been something that every footballer, and every football enthusiast has been or have been, waiting for. And I am particularly happy because Dembele, did win because I have advocated for him because of what he's been able to achieve and because of the low moments that he has had in his career, particularly when he went to Barcelona. For him to have come out of the low moments and then gone to PSG and then led PSG to winning the Champions League is one thing that I am particularly happy for.
Fantastic. So quickly, let's run by some of the awards that were presented tonight, starting with the 2025 Kopa Trophy ratings with regards to the young best players. Let me just quickly shortlist it to the top five. So in fifth place was Juventus's Inan Yildiz, number 10, shirted. Yeah, very fantastic for the season. And Palmeiras to Chelsea, Esteval, also in number four position. João Neves PSG was in third place, and then Desiree Doué was second place behind Yamin Lamine Yamal. So Lamine Yamal retaining that trophy he won last year. What was your impression on this one? You think Lamine justifiably deserved it? Of course.
Well, to be frank with you, I deservedly yes, because if he's supposed to be contending for the Ballon d'Or itself, then there's no way that anybody was going to beat him to the Copa Trophy. And if you look at what he's been able to achieve over the season under review, leading Barcelona as the main architect, to winning the double, the La Liga, and then the Copa del Rey, and then also leading the Spanish national team to win a trophy, shows that as the young player of the year, there's absolutely no player in the world. Yes, you might say that there's Djoué, there's Yodes who have been fantastic individually, but when it comes to achieving something, when it comes to leading your club or your nation to win something, there's absolutely nobody who could have toppled, Lamine Yamal.
Courage. Let's talk about Esteval. He was placed number four behind João Neves and Desiree Doué. You think that was fair enough rating for him?
Yes, of course, because look at a player like William Estival, a player who played his major try coming to this ceremony in Brazil. Yes, Brazil is not part of and the most highest ranked leagues in the world. Brazil, just one of these countries. Though yes, they love football, they do proper football, but then they are not just not there yet. They are not part of the European powerhouses and then other countries. So yes, it's fair enough. If he's been placed at number 4 or 5, that's okay. That's okay because I think the major thing that pushed him to that very very far position is basically because of what he did or the successes he's chalked, like back-to-back man of the match awards in the Club World Cup. So I believe that's what pushed him to that very, very high position. Because Estival alone in the Premier, in the Brazil national team wasn't like, he wasn't that influential. I didn't have any proper highlights in that Brazil national team. He was just a squad member. And then also in his club football, yes, he did well. But as I said earlier, the Brazil league is not up to the highest leagues out there. So yes, he may have done well at his age, very very fantastic young child. But then I believe the Club World Cup pushed him to that feat, and then that's fair enough for a player like Estival. But then I was looking forward to still Djoué, yes, because I believe he should have been the ultimate winner. Still Djoué, because he conquered Europe. He won 4 trophies in all. Also went to the Club World Cup final. And then prior to the announcement of a day to the ceremony, FIFA came out that the Club World Cup was going to play a crucial role in announcing or the position or ranking of the best player, and then in all the major awards. But then I don't know why, if a player like this is able to participate in the Club World Cup and then take his team all the way to the final, won the Champions League, the French League, every single thing in Europe, and then also did very well with the French national team, competing with the likes of Mbappe, Kingsley Coman, and for position. And then I don't know, maybe it might be that Lamine Yamal did well with the Spanish national team, but then if we are supposed to go with the FIFA criteria, I believe the Djoué should have been the appropriate winner.
I think that is a debate that is worth taking on, considering the fact
that Ali, when you said Djoué do deserve, I beg to differ, because you see, if you're looking at the totality of the year under review, if you take Lamine Yamal out of the equation and say that, oh, okay, he has won it already, but if you look at what he's been able to achieve, you understand, I mean, individually and collectively, he was a better performer individually and then collectively, because if you look at his statistics compared to the people that he's competing with, there's absolutely no way that they would have won the Kopa trophy instead of him, because absolutely from the year under review, from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, you saw how influential he was to the Barcelona setup. But if you come to the PSG setup without Djoué, but PSG could still have gone on to win the Champions League. But without Lamine Yamal's input, there's no way that Barcelona would have gone on to win the Spanish La Liga or the Copa del Rey. And even the Spanish national team winning the Euros would have been very difficult without his input.
Let me come in a bit. I think first did say without Lamine Yamal, Barcelona would have won the La Liga and stuff. That's a big move for, because
he scored. Hold on, Lamine Yamal scored 40 plus goals for Barcelona individually to help them in the domestic triumph and taking them all the way to semi-finals of the Champions.
Have you checked the Raphinha's numbers in that?
Individual statistics.
Yes, and Raphinha is ahead of Lamine Yamal in terms of statistics. He scored more goals than Lamine Yamal last season.
Djoué scored more goals than Lamine Yamal.
Oh no! I'm talking of Raphinha. If because
we're talking about this argument is based on the Kopa trophy, young player.
But then first did mention that Lamine Yamal was the one carrying Barcelona. That's where I differ. Like I don't agree with him, because
let's limit the argument to the criteria.
And then the Djoué also guided his team to to chalk 4 different successes. They won the quadruple, the Champions League, the French League, all the trophies in France. They conquered all, and then he was a major and an integral member. He was the second fiddle to Ousmane Dembele. So if Ousmane Dembele is winning the Ballon d'Or, the ultimate prize, why do you leave out Djoué? Because I believe Djoué, he did very, very, very well last season. He, like a player who just came into a new setup, a team. He was able to even bench Bakula and stuff. So if we are talking of statistic wise, if you are saying Lamine Yamal was had 40 plus goal and assist combination, and then so if that's the yardstick, I differ, because all these, he chalked all majority of these numbers in the La Liga and then in Spain national team as well. But then there was a certain Club World Cup where Lamine Yamal didn't participate at all, but then the went all the way to the final. So and then also the Champions League, where all the big guys met, Djoué stood out tall. He conquered everybody to the final and then eventually won it. So why, even if you are talking of individual performance, must it always revolve around goals and assists? What about the totality of football, playmaking, chances created, and then and stuff? I really think the Djoué was cheated in this particular category.
Okay, let's leave that to the viewers and have their say on this one. So, viewers, what do you think? You think Lamine Yamal deserved the Kopa trophy as one of the best young players, winning it for the second consecutive time, ahead of Djoué, who was in the finals of the Champions League and also in the finals of the FIFA Club World Cup, and helped his team on a collective effort? He was good, but individually, per the statistics, it looks like Lamine Yamal made some impact. and accolades for himself. Well, let's move away from that and come to the Women's Kopa Trophy. Courage, you have been vested a lot in women's football. And this year, it was Vicky Lopez who was adjudged as the winner of the Women's Kopa Trophy. I think deservedly she deserved that one. And also in second place came Linda Caicedo. And then in third place was Vicky Captain and Ghanaian but English Michelle Ajiman came fourth, and then Claudia Martinez Ovado was fifth. What's your take on this category and Vicky Lopez emerging as a winner as well?
I think Vicky Captain, one of the best midfielders I've seen at that very, very young age, because this girl, I watched him far back before she even joined Chelsea. He was one of the best midfielders, and then for such a player to be able to emerge and then also enter into national team direct, not in just any national team, and the France national team, it's quite surprising. But then there are also a couple of players I think should have won ahead of the eventual winner, because there's certain Johannes who plays for Ajax and then also American International. So these are players. But then Michelle Ajiman, I think she didn't stand any chance, because she's an Arsenal player who is on loan with Brighton and Hove Albion. She was very, very unknown until the European Championship. Yes, the Women's European Championship, where she came in as a substitute to score in 2 consecutive matches, where she started getting into the limelight or the spotlight. So, Vicky, I think maybe captain should have been the event winner, because she's one of the players I look forward to. If in future, in the next 1-2 years, I think she should be contesting for the ultimate, the best player overall. So with the Kopa Trophy not going in her favor, I think it's a worry, because she's one of the best midfielders, current young midfielders I've seen. And then to be able to come into that Chelsea team and then also slot into the midfield of and then competing with Erin Cuthbert and co. She's one of the most enterprising midfielders I've seen in recent years, and then I think she should have won this particular award.
All right, so Vicky Lopez emerging winner of the women's award in that young category. Let's still stick with women's football, and this time is the Women's Yashin Trophy winner, the best goalkeeper when it comes to women's football, Hannah Hampton, who plays for Chelsea and the England national team. And this is a woman who has had a very inspiring, touching story. Some few years back, she had issues with her sight. Diagnosis revealed she could not see well, and her football career might not even be fruitful or materialize in any way. But somehow, she's been able to stand all of that test, lead Chelsea to win the domestic accolades across board, and then also leading England to win the Women's Euros as well. Force, what do you make of this achievement from Hannah Hampton?
Well, you have rightly indicated her story, because when it came to light that she could possibly have left the game because of the eye problem, everybody did indicate that she is very lucky, and I can equate her situation to Van Kirk, of South Africa, who had a horrific injury and then came back to help South Africa play third in the World Championship. So sometimes you would have to go beyond the achievements of the field and then look at what the liabilities are or what the difficulties are that a player goes through. And for her to have gone through such a turmoil, for her to have gone through such an emotional phase, to the extent that she nearly lost her sight, to have come back and then aided Chelsea in winning the WXL and then doing fantastically very well, because if you look at her statistics last season, she was practically the best goalkeeper in the world. You understand? If they had been able to topple Barcelona, there's no question that they would have been able to win the Champions League. But that was a hurdle that they've not been able to cross so far. But on an individual capacity, I think that there's absolutely no doubt about the fact that she has been able to win the best goalkeeper in Europe, and there's no two ways about her choice.
And still sticking with women's football, Courage, your take on Hannah's story as well. You think she deserved it?
Yes, because this is the goalkeeper who came in from nowhere, and then she started her career with Reading and then joined Chelsea a couple of seasons ago, I think 2 seasons ago. And then, what makes it very, very interesting is in the last Euro, or prior to her joining the women's national team, there was a certain Mary Epps who is a legend, yes, and then who was practically if not the best, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So when Mary Epps was retiring from the national team, questions were raised who was going to succeed her. And then there is also Peyton of Manchester City. Everyone thought she was going to be the number one until Hampton came in and then beginning to give in 9/10 performances on consistent basis. So the coach Wigan had no choice to select her as the first goalkeeper. And then also one thing about that goalkeeper is when she came to Chelsea, there was also a German goalkeeper, Ann-Katrin Berger, who was the first choice goalkeeper. And then she came to displace her. Another goalkeeper from Sweden also came in. We thought she was going to be the best keeper, but then Hannah is a very, very, very hardworking woman. As we said, she never gives up. From the story you just said, she almost lost her sight, but then this is a very, very strong woman. Her story is very, very inspiring. So I've watched her week in and week out, so I know her qualities. I know what she does. She's not just a goalkeeper. She's one of the modern goalkeepers who can actually play with her feet. Because if you look at the Euros, some of the passes she gave, she made about 3 assists in the WSL, which is the English Women's League. She made about 3 assists from the back. Goalkeeper making 3 assists, I don't think it actually happens even in the men's football. So this is a goalkeeper who has seen it all, who has fought very, very, very hard to put her career on this path. So coming in to be the English number 1 goalkeeper, I remember match day 1 on her debut, people were saying, "Oh, she's not fit. Is this goalkeeper going to take us anywhere? Mary Epps, we will miss Mary Epps." But then guess what? We are here, and then she's won the Kopa trophy. She's won the award for the best goalkeeper of the year, something that took Mary Epps years to achieve. So this is one of the goalkeepers that we have a lot of respect for, and then she truly deserves the accolade, and then we hope she's able to inspire a lot of us. I know, but within the next 3 days, she will get an MBE badge or reward.
Let's still stick on the women's football, and this time we're heading to the coach of the year. This is a woman who some are already contesting the fact that the likes of Bomati and co have had a good say in the year under review, coaching Chelsea to win domestic trophies and all of that. Us now also in the Champions League trophy. But this is a woman who has done the double with the English Lionesses, winning the Euros with them on 2 different occasions. Force, you think she deserves this without any question, considering the people she was in contention with?
Well, Ali, it's all about the year under review, you understand? And, proud to Sarah Wingman winning the double with England, the English Lioness. Remember that they had absolutely never won anything in their entire history, right? So for her to have come and then beaten all the big boys, all the big women when it comes to women football, France, Germany, Norway, and in particular the Spanish national team, in winning the European Championship, tell you how far she has come as a coach. And you see, we have to accept the fact that the Lions are not a big shot. A couple of years ago, when it comes to women football, until Wigman took over, so we have to accept the fact that she has for some time now been the best coach in women football when it comes to what she has been able to achieve with the English national team, particularly the fact that she has defended the European Championship that she won 2 years ago. I mean, it is difficult winning it the first time, and it is more difficult defending the trophy. You understand? So we have to accept the fact that yes, there are others who might have done, particularly Arsenal winning the Champions League for the first time, and the difficulty in beating Barcelona, because nobody thought that Arsenal could have beaten Barcelona, but they did go on to beat Barcelona. But you can equate that to defending the European Championship. So that is where I give it to Wigman for the fact that she's been able to defend the title that the Lioness won.
And I'm considering the fact that, like you mentioned, Renee Slagers of Arsenal Football Club doing the unthinkable, beating Barcelona to win the Champions League. Don't you think that also was a feat that nobody expected Arsenal to have done? They struggled to win the Women's Premier League in England, but to have gone all the way to win the Champions League, that was something that deserves an accolade. And the coach to have seen that happen should be rewarded.
Of course, because you see, and the fact that they came from 2 goals down to beat Madrid, you understand? I mean, it is a no means feat, because when it comes to club football, especially when we are talking about women football, Lyon and Barcelona are the two biggest when it comes to the European stage. But for us now to have gone out there and then defeated Barcelona to win the Champions League for the first time in their history, that tells you the feat that they have been able to achieve. But in comparison to winning the European Championship and then defending it, it pales. It pales. You understand? Because we are talking about the creme de la creme of countries that meet. And for Wegman to have won it, if Wegman had won it once, that would have been it. You understand? That for her to have defended it again, because I can tell you for the fact that it's going to take a long period of time for any country or any coach to even come close to winning it and even defending it. So we would have to give it to Wegman for what she has been able to achieve with the English learners.
Anyways, so Sarina Wegman winning the women's coach of the year. That's the Johan Cruyff Trophy winner. So congratulations to her on that one. Let me get Courage's opinion on this one. People have the views that Slegers of Arsenal did a good job and should be in contention for that. She was a nominee as well as Sonia Bompasta of Chelsea. But Courage, you think that Sarina Wegman undoubtedly should be the winner of this one?
Absolutely no, a big no. Yes, what did he do? She was able to win the Euros with the English national team, but then I still don't believe she was the right winner, because we saw what Sonia Bompasta did with Chelsea. She just slotted in there, and then as if she's been at the job for several years, won the quadruple, won every single title with the Blues, and then also went into the semi-finals of the Champions League, where she lost to the powerhouse like Barcelona, a mountain she has not been able to climb for the whole Chelsea hasn't been able to climb for several years. And then also the Arsenal coach, yes, she also did well, but then I think all in all, Sonia Bompasta deserved to be crowned the best women's coach ahead of Wegman, because Wegman, she had to go through several phases to win the Euros. She didn't. I wasn't convinced, though. Yes, she won it, but then I wasn't too convinced. Going through penalties, like winning the semi-finals with penalties, and then also winning the final as well. It's like they were just like some shellac. I didn't see any proper tactical play or any proper management from her. It was something like the English team were more determined, the players themselves, they were more determined. The Russos and then the Clokellis, they were more determined. And then also the Hannah Hamptons. And then I didn't see, from a technical or tactical perspective, she just had the Galactico. She had the luxury of players to select from any player, from goalkeeping department to the attacking position. They had like 3 world-class players in there. This is the biggest English team I've ever seen since watching football. Yes, because in goal post alone, as you mentioned earlier, they have Keaton there, they have Hannah Hampton there. In right back, they have Lucy Bronze and co. They have Liam Charles, who even sits on the bench. And also, their captain was even in the squad, Millie Bryce. But then they had Williamson coming in, and then a whole lot of players. And then their midfield, they kind of decide to go with Hesagawa and co. And then they could still win. Kokeli, with all her heroine performances, she was coming from the bench, so she had the luxury of squad to select from. But then, from her technical perspective, from her instructions, I didn't see any magic from her. She should have been winning games with ease, because this English team, even a player like Michelle was coming from the bench. You see, so that tells you the luxury of players she had. But then Sonia Bompasta, her first season in England, conquered everything, went all the way to the semis of the Champions League. So I think Sonia deserved it better than giving it out to Wegman.
It looks like, Force, it looks like Courage is trying to hide from the Wegman and England national team fans. That's why he decided to blur his camera and his face so that the fans don't see him and attack him online for ruling him out of that.
But you see, Ali, it is funny the anger from which Courage took the whole conversation from, you understand? Because, see, before even Bompasta came to Chelsea from Lyon, Chelsea had dominated the WXL for the past 5 years. You understand? You see, there's absolutely no female club in the WXL today who can compete competitively with Chelsea. You understand? You see, if Bompasta had gone on to win the Champions League, then we can say justifiably so that she deserves to win it. But remember that before she came in, the WXL had been dominated. That Chelsea had dominated. Chelsea had conquered every single team in the WXL. You understand? So
the credit goes to Emma Hayes. So the credit goes to Emma Hayes.
The team had been built by Emma Hayes already. You understand? You see, I am not downplaying the impact of what's the name Bompasta because she went because she went unbeaten. You understand? But the mere fact that she had conquered England should not give her the right, because if she had beaten Barcelona, because Barcelona last year was the best team in Europe and the last 2 years was the best team in Europe, so for her to not have been able to beat Barcelona, and remember the Spanish national team is full of the Barcelona players, and Weidman had been able to beat them, right? Twice. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you would have to doff your hat out for her to be able to win the Lioness their first trophy in their history, and then to maintain that record, and to what's the name the word has escaped me, and to and to retain the trophy. And to retain the trophy, that's the level of difficulty we are talking about. You understand? It's like Real Madrid retaining the trophy 3 times. It is unheard of, and it's never going to happen again.
Anyways, let's talk about the Men's Coach of the Year award as well. There have been names in there: Enzo Maresca winning the Club World Cup and the Europa League, in the Conference League actually with Chelsea, and Slot also winning the English Premier League with Arsenal in his first season, also was in there. But then there was this man who has been in charge of PSG for a few seasons and somehow manages to sweep everything in France, the so-called Farmers League, and has made the Farmers League a lucrative one to look out for, winning the Champions League as well with them. Some said because he struggled in the FIFA Club World Cup, then Maresca should be winning that. Force, are you disputing this one as well?
Of course. It is my greatest joy. You understand that PSG has been able to win the Champions League, because that was the project. That was the project from I think 15 years let's say 12, 13 years ago, when the new owners came in for PSG, and to an extent everybody got fed up, and a lot of people thought that the dream might not come to pass again, especially when they allowed Lionel Messi, Neymar, and then Kylian Mbappe to leave. Because everybody thought that was the assemblement that was going to, get PSG the Holy Grail, the Champions League. And so the question was that how are they going to be able to compete after leaving all their big name players, allowing them to leave? But here come, Luis Enrique, his first season in the capital, leading PSG to the Champions League. And you see, he did it in a fashion that is demonstrably unheard of, beating Inter Milan by 5-0. They steamrolled Inter Milan in the Champions League finals. When was the last time that you saw a team got beat in the Champions League finals by 5-0? So it shows you that there's absolutely nobody who should be in doubt about the tactical ability, about the tactical nuance of Luis Enrique. That is why I was a bit sad when he came to Chelsea, had gone through the interview and everything. You understand? And then there was a bit of a confusion between the authority over signing of players, and then he went to PSG, because you see he has done it from Roma to what's the name, to Barcelona. He's won the treble as Barcelona. He's gone on to win the treble now at PSG. So he's in the class of his own, and absolutely the year under review, he was, or he still is, the best coach in the world.
Fantastic. Courage, what's your take on this one? Enrique deserves it. Nobody there challenges him.
Fair enough. Yes. Absolutely yes, because this is a coach who conquered everything, every single trophy he played in Europe last season, except the Club World Cup. Yes, even that, he went all the way to the finals and then took the determination of a certain Chelsea team to outclass him in the final. But then, come on, the Champions League, in the history of the Champions League, not too many matches have ended in the 5-goal thriller, but then he made it happen. So absolutely yes, he did every single thing to propel PSG to successes last season. I can't remember where the turnaround all came from. His playoff against Manchester City, where they won by 4 goals to 2, and then went on to beat the likes of Liverpool. They met about 4 English teams and then beat all of them. Went ahead to beat Inter Milan in the finals as well. So yes, fair enough. I think Luis Enrique deserved it, and then also etching his name in the record books as one of the 3 coaches to have won back-to-back trebles or quadruples. Yes, so he joins Jose Mourinho and then also Pep Guardiola as one of the coaches that have won everything in Europe. So the only box he couldn't tick was the Club World Cup box. Yeah, he ticked every single box, every single tournament he participated in last season was a success, except the Club World Cup. And even that, not that he performed abysmally, he went all the way to the finals, and then he was also, even prior to the final, he was the favorite of the tournament. So come on, this is a very well deserved without any debate.
Aitana Bonmati was named the Women's Footballer of the Year for the 3rd time. She has a treble of the Ballon d'Or now. Unfortunately, close contender, Champions League winner, failed to lift that trophy. Force, are you disappointed with this one, or you think Bonmati deserves it?
Well, Ali, I have always said that for you to be the best in the world, you would have to be a part of the collective. You understand? And what have you been able to win? What have you led your team to win? On that basis, I would say that Bonmati did not deserve it. But when it comes to what she did do, the year under review, her essence as a footballer, she was practically the best footballer in the year under review. Just that she did not, or she's not been able to match that with trophies. You understand? So I would say, I don't want her dominance to become like Marta of Brazil. Where Marta won the Ballon d'Or like I think 7, 8 times, in a row. And if it becomes like that, it's going to be a bit boring. So I think others should come to the party. Others should put in the work rate. Others should put in so much work rate so that at least next year we won't see Bonmati winning again. But you see, I think that fairly she shouldn't have been able to win it because she does not, or she did not back herself out with trophies. And that is the essence of being called the best player. You should aid your team to win the collective, and the collective is winning trophies.
Courage, Aitana Bonmati, number 1 for this one, winning the 3rd one, or you think she was aided in winning this one as well?
I wouldn't say she was aided because on the field, if the football is on the field, let's play. I sincerely do not think there is any single player who is better than Bonmati with the ball at their feet. Bonmati is easily the best player. Anytime a football is being kicked on the pitch, she is easily the best player because what she's able to do with the ball is practically like genius. It's something magical. She's a good, very, very, very good player. You sometimes even think, what's the position of this lady? Which position is she playing? Because if you put her at the deeper row, she delivers. You put her in the middle, she delivers. Even in attacking options, she delivers. I can't remember during the Euros, in their game against Germany, how she managed to score that goal against Anne-Catherine Berger was the best goalkeeper in the tournament up to that until that stage. It was just some magical moment. But then, if there is also a player who played with her in this national team, but then different club teams, a player who won the Champions League in the person of Carl Dentry, then I think Carl Dentry deserves to win that Ballon d'Or instead, because what's the ultimate in the women's football? Though one might argue that Bonmati won every single trophy in Spain.
But she failed to win the Euros. She failed to win the Euros. She failed to win the Champions League as well.
Yes, and then Carl Dentry guided Arsenal to beat them in the final and then won the Champions League. So if every single success she has chalked the national team, Carl Dentry has also chalked same thing. And then we come to club side and then one has dominated in Europe, then meaning it should have gone to Carl Dentry. So I beg to differ. This award is something I don't quite understand, because it should have gone to Carl Dentry, because collectively she was there. Individually, she was there. During the Euros, she was one of the best players in the European tournament. So for this one, I don't quite agree with the organizers and where the award went. Yes, I know, but with the ball, Bonmati is one of the best. And then fair enough, Lauren James, also one of the very, very good players, I think, who plays very well, was not there because of what? Personal success and then also collective effort. So if the criteria says, you need to chalk some accolades with your team and then also personal. Me personally, Currency was there. She won the best player in the EPL and then also one of the best in the European scene. So I think you should have gone to Currency of Arsenal instead of Aitana Bonmati of Spain and Barcelona.
Okay, so let's move to the biggest one now. Dembele versus Lamine Yamal. And people have mentioned that Lamine Yamal scored 40 plus goals and helping Barcelona win everything in Spain. Dembele scored 52 goals in his 60 appearances and won the Champions League and everything in France. Is there any argument about this one, Force? Dembele winning the Ballon d'Or?
Well, Ali, there's no argument. There's no argument. There's not going to be a counter argument as well. You know, if you look at a year under review, I have always indicated that PSG winning the treble is solely dependent on the resurgence of Dembele. In that, when you look at the first half of the season, Dembele wasn't having a good season. Dembele wasn't playing that well, and Barcelona and PSG wasn't playing that well. Even though they were winning matches in the League A, which is expected of them, but when it comes to the Champions League, they were not doing very well. You understand? So it took the resurgence of Dembele in the start of the second half of the season, and that is what led to the resurgence of PSG as well. So it started from when they went 2 goals down to Man City, when they came back to beat Man City by 4 goals to 2. That was where the resurgence started from, and that was where Dembele started to exert his influence and his capacity on the PSG team as a whole. So PSG going on to win the Champions League, which is out of the extraordinary because absolutely nobody gave them a dog's chance to win the Champions League. What we have seen, that he led them to win the Champions League. And he did not only lead them, his influence was as devastating as anybody else. His impact was the biggest in the team. So the collective was there, and individually, if you look at the numbers, if you look at the data, he was up there with everybody and even beat everybody when it comes to both goals and assists combined. So yes, individually, he did achieve with his team by winning the treble. And you see, Ali, we don't have to lose sight of the fact that this is a PSG team that has got under the knife. You understand? I mean, all the big boys had left. Lionel Messi had left. Neymar had left. Kylian Mbappe had left. You understand? And the desire for them to win the Champions League was not new. It is something that has started a decade ago. And for them to have realized it last season was the pinnacle of the football that they've been trying to achieve. And that mission and that object was led by none other than Dembele.
Fantastic. Courage, quick one there. Is there any argument about Dembele winning the Ballon d'Or this year? His stats speak for himself, but maybe Lamine Yamal has done enough to win the hearts, winning the Young Player of the Year on 2 occasions and coming this close. You think he deserved it ahead of Dembele?
Not at all, not at all. He stood no chance going to with Dembele. Personally, I didn't think Raphinha was supposed to be ranked ahead of Lamine Yamal. Yes, because in that Barcelona team, Lamine Yamal didn't have influence than Raphinha. It was just pure PR and then also some validations. You see, Dembele under the year of review, we've said it here several and countless times that he guided his team to the Champions League. Yes, the Champions League, and he was the main man, a player who played across all positions in attack. And then he also won the French League, French Cup, every single trophy in France. The only thing he missed out on was the Club World Cup. And even with that, Lamine Yamal was nowhere to be found. Aside that, with the French national team, he did very, very well with the national team because this is club and national combined. He ticked every single box in there. Like he was just playmaking, scoring, assisting, contributing to attacks, and then being the main man. You see, so there was no way Lamine Yamal would have had a better head-to-head than Ousmane Dembele on this one. So it's well deserved, and then congrats to Dembele for winning this one.
The question, though, is now about consistency. We've only seen a few dominate the front: Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Lionel Messi. As the question now is, can Dembele maintain that consistency and come again next season or the years ahead in the future? Force.
No. Dembele cannot maintain this consistency. You understand? I mean, if you look at what Dembele has been able to achieve from Rennes to Dortmund to Barcelona, this is the first season. The last season was the first season that he had gone the whole season and played very well. That he has had a major influence because at Barcelona, even his own teammates were criticizing his work rate. His own teammates were criticizing how he was taking care of himself. So that should tell you that he lacked the professionalism to be at the top. And for him to have come back into this PSG team and then got on to win the Ballon d'Or, I do not see the work rate. I do not see the desire. I do not see that. And you see, Ali, let's not kid ourselves. We are not going to see a duopoly again. We are not going to see a situation where two players are going to utterly dominate, the Ballon d'Or. It's never going to happen again because what we saw in Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo is an abnormality. You understand? It's never going to happen again. It is an outlier when it comes to data and statistics. And you see, we might get to an era where every single season might produce a new winner, just like we saw in the early 90s and then the late 90s. The most you could see a player win is twice. When Zidane won it twice and then came back to win it a third time. Ronaldo from Brazil won it twice and then came back to win it the third time. Ronaldinho himself won it twice. So it's going to be very. I mean, Pavone won it once. What's the name? Michael Lulu also won it once. So it's going to be very, very difficult for us to have that consistency from one single player or from two players who are going to be competing. But the player that I think, if his entourage is able to guide him very well, that might lay a claim to more than one or two Ballon d'Ors is Lamine Yamal, because what he has shown over the past two seasons is that he's got a technique, he's got what it takes to be at the top. But has he got a work rate? Has he got a temerity? Has he got that desire to want to be the best? And it is that desire that set apart Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo dominating the Ballon d'Or for 13 straight years. It is their desire to want to outcompete every single competition. Because if you look at what's the name, Cristiano Ronaldo moving from England to Spain, he had an interview and said that his desire is to continuously win the Champions League and to continuously win the Ballon d'Or and the Champions League. So you would have to be competing at the highest level, winning your domestic league and the Champions League on a consistent basis for you to have a chance of maintaining your dominance in winning the Ballon d'Or.
Courage. Forces will not see any younger generational player dominating the Ballon d'Or like Ronaldo and Messi did. Does that apply to Dembele as well?
Yes, that's true, because Messi and Ronaldo's run was very, very incredible. About 50. Come on, how many Ballon d'Ors did they share among themselves? I think 8 to 7 or 9 to. It was just too much to even count. So for 15 consecutive years or 10 years, there was just between two people. That was very, very ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not sure we are going to see any more competitive or competition between two frontliners in the coming years. But then Dembele, as to if he will be able to maintain consistency, I also differ. I don't think so. But he's not a player who yearns for more. He doesn't actually fight for more. He's okay with whatever he has. He's unconcerned. In terms of disciplinary level, he's not up there. And then with consistency, if injuries alone, we would have pardoned him because injuries are out of control. But then he doesn't look like a player who's always hungry to achieve more success. I think though he's technically gifted and talented, I feel Lamine Yamal has age on his side, and then also living very, very, very well, and then will have more time to shine on bigger stages, more likelier than Ousmane Dembele, because throughout his career, aside his days in Dortmund, where Dortmund couldn't help him reach this pedestal, we moved on to Barcelona, a bigger team that he needed just to do something very small or minimal.
This has been an exciting recap of the Ballon d'Or, the Al Media specialty. Thanks to Force and Courage on this particular one. And let's have your say as well. What do you think? Do you think this was a one-way win for Dembele winning this year's Ballon d'Or? And if indeed he can continue to be regarded as the world best by winning more Ballon d'Ors and equaling that of Ronaldo, and surpassing him to reach the level of Lionel Messi. Well, stay with us here on our media as we bring you a lot more content from around the world. Enjoy your evening. Thanks, guys.